Making headlines tonight, Parliament informs Election Commission Geeta's seat now vacant.
First at 9. This is Derana 24/7.
External panel of judges to inquire EPF losses, Central Bank Governor says. Sri Lanka Freedom Party to suggest a separate cabinet spokesperson, also confident of cabinet reshuffle. Special traffic plan in Colombo for UN International Day of Vesak celebrations. Making international headlines, South Korea votes Moon Jae-in as next president. Good evening, I'm Indivari Amwat. This is your top story making news tonight. Parliament informs Election Commission that Geeta's seat is now vacant. Before we take a look at that story, we'd like to move on to your other local stories. President Maithripala Sirisena has instructed the relevant ministries and the local government authorities to propose a national policy on waste management. He made the request presiding over a meeting with local government commissioners and the public sector employees at the Presidential Secretariat today.
President Maithripala Sirisena has given instructions to expedite the submission of investigation reports on waste management by the Ministry of Environment and Central Environmental Authority and to take further action. He also gave instructions to the relevant sectors to prepare a new cabinet paper to ban the use of unsafe varieties of polythene. The President summoned all the local government commissioners to discuss issues faced by the local government institutions in the process of the waste management. The solutions proposed by them for these issues were also taken up, and steps which should be taken in the future for waste management was also discussed. The local government commissioners highlighted the steps each institution has taken on waste management and the prevailing issues when implementing their plans. The President also instructed to each ministry and local government institutes to submit proposals to prepare a national policy on waste management. The President directed to expedite the waste disposal suggestion for Aruvakkaru in Puttalam and instructed to submit a report on this proposal without delay. During the meeting, it was revealed that there are nearly 200 locations for garbage disposal across the country, and a comprehensive report has been prepared in this regard. 25 out of 200 are located in the Western Province, and only 20 mounds of garbage out of the total of 200 have proven to be problematic. The report on the Meethotamulla garbage dump was presented to President during the meeting. It revealed there is no danger of an adverse situation around the area at present, and it has been prepared in a way to face the upcoming rainy seasons, as well as the garbage dump has been brought under control with the use of technology.
Buddhist devotees across the country are making preparations to celebrate the most sacred events tomorrow, the day of Vesak Full Moon Poya Day. Derana took to the streets to observe how Colombo is gearing up to celebrate the day of Vesak and the UN International Vesak Day celebrations in Colombo.
This is how public in Colombo are preparing to celebrate the Vesak festival this year. Meanwhile, we observed how preparations in lieu of the Vesak Full Moon Poya Day is being carried out along the Bauddha Lokamavata and Gangarama premises. Various locations in Colombo are being decorated at present. We observed how imported Vesak decorations are given prominence in this year's Vesak stalls. Meanwhile, police are taking strict measures against selling masks and other inappropriate displays.
In light of the UN International Vesak Day celebrations to be held in Colombo, the following roads will be completely closed or their usage will be restricted from tomorrow, the 13th of this, until the 13th of this month. Accordingly, routes around Boralla Cemetery Roundabout, Badaloka Mawatha up to Stanley Vijay Junction will be closed. Kingsey Road Junction, RG Senanayaka Mawatha up to Maitland Crescent Junction will also be shut. Routes from Slave Island Roundabout, James Pierce Mawatha up to Pittala Junction is due to remain closed as well. Routes from Union Place, Dawson Street up to Braybrook Place, from Hyde Park Road Junction, Braybrook Place up to areas in between Multhaya Road and Park Street will be also closed. Police say James Pierce Mawatha Junction and Jinaratna Mawatha up to Park Street Junction will be closed. Routes from NSA Roundabout, Chaitya Road towards the Colombo Harbour will be closed due to the celebrations. The police requests the Vesak sightseers to opt for public transport as much as possible, avoiding driving in roads with traffic congestion, and to make parking allocations only in areas reserved for car parks. And the Secretary General of Parliament, Dhammika Dasanayaka, has informed the Elections Commission that the seat of Geetha Kumarasinghe in Parliament has fallen vacant following the decision by the Court of Appeal. When Derana contacted the legal counsel of former MP Geetha Kumarasinghe, he said a case has been filed in the Supreme Court challenging the decision of the Court of Appeal, which disqualified her from Parliament.
A petition was filed by 4 voters from the Galle district in 2015 against MP Geetha Kumarasinghe, citing her dual citizenship disqualifies her from Parliament. Following deliberation, the Court of Appeal disqualified Geetha Kumarasinghe from holding a seat in Parliament due to her dual citizenship. The actress is a citizen of both Switzerland and Sri Lanka. Secretary General of the Parliament had sought the advice of the Attorney General and had been advised to implement the court's decision. Accordingly, the General Secretary of the Parliament has informed the President of the Election Commission that the parliamentary seat of former MP Geetha Kumarasinghe has fallen vacant. In 2015, Geetha Kumarasinghe contested in the general election from the Galle district and was elected to Parliament with 63,955 votes. According to the 19th Amendment to the Constitution, a Sri Lankan citizen bearing dual citizenship does not qualify to be elected as a Member of Parliament. In the meantime, after contacting the former MP's lawyer, he stated that a case has been filed at the Supreme Court challenging the decision of the Court of Appeal.
Today we have filed appeal to the Supreme Court. This case will be argued on next Friday. So we believe Supreme Court will deliver a fair judgment on Honorable Geetha Kumarasinghe. But the issue is we are really astonished to say the Honorable Geetha has delivered a letter to the Election Commission regarding fulfilling the parliamentary seat on behalf of Honorable Geetha Kumarasinghe. Geetha Kumarasinghe has a right which was given by the Constitution of the Appeal. Whatever the judgment she got, she can appeal on that.
Former MP Geetha Kumarasinghe also expressed her dissatisfaction regarding the matter.
I too hold all the rights of a citizen in this country. No one can change the law. When you get a court order referring to mine, you can appeal within 42 days. When things like this happen so quickly, I feel so suspicious about the matter. We appealed to the Supreme Court today and we will inform the President of the Elections Commission.
Meanwhile, ministers of the SLFP expressed their views on the matter.
The Secretary General of Parliament has informed the Elections Commissioner that Geetha Kumarasinghe was disqualified from her post of MP. Next in the list is the former Minister Piyasena Gamage. I would recommend him for the vacant seat. According to the writ order, the court order will be implemented from the point of its issuance. But you can appeal to the Supreme Court. You can pause the process of unseating only if you have a restraining order from the Supreme Court. There were no case filed challenging the court's decision before the Commissioner was informed by the Secretary General of Parliament, so there is no legal barrier to unseat her.
And independent election monitoring bodies, PAFREL and CAFE, expressed their views recently on the need for government intervention to strengthen laws which will prohibit parliamentary candidates with dual citizenship from contesting elections.
Those who have dual citizenship, they should not be a politician. They should not be in the parliament to take decisions on behalf of Sri Lankan citizens. But this should not. This should apply for all other parliamentarians, not only Geeta Kumarasinghe. This is an example, or it's a one just case. And also, we think that the government officers, those who are in high-ranking positions, they also time to time they have to take a critical decision. Sometimes the government officers also engage with the foreign agreement. And also the serious thing is that they are not respond to the people of the country, because at any given time they can leave the country. So whether these government officers also consider the country in a serious manner. So I think we have to start the discussions in a second level, whether the senior government officers, whether they can have a dual citizenship.
The issue here, why the district returning officers fail to carry out their obligation as the public servants at that time, has made a huge impact the composition of the present parliament. And we should look into the fact that this dual citizenship issue has to address in a very broader manner, and these sort of very sensitive issues must be referred to the relevant courts, and the decisions has to make very fast.
UPFA General Secretary Minister Mahinda Amaravira reveals plans to appoint a new cabinet spokesperson representing the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. Addressing a media briefing in Colombo today, the Minister of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources Development said the proposed SLFP spokesperson will be able to voice the views of the SLFP.
No. We wanted a representative of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party to voice the views of the SLFP. We proposed that the three cabinet spokespersons will discuss among themselves prior to speaking on behalf of the government. The President requested that I discuss the matter with the party secretary and propose a name. No. We have not discussed anything that will affect the party or its leadership. Newspaper reports suggested the cabinet reshuffle will only affect the SLFP and the Prime Minister is against the cabinet reshuffle. It is not so. The Prime Minister is not against it. The President and the Prime Minister have come to an agreement on this. Discussions are still underway and there was no mention of an SLFP breakaway.
A genocide week has been announced in the northern and eastern provinces with effect from Friday by TNA parliamentarian M.K. Sivajalingam. The parliamentarian made the revelation addressing a media briefing in Jaffna today.
We are
ready to celebrate the Genocide Day on the 18th of May when the Vella Mullivaikkal war ended. We announced a Genocide Week from 1 week before under the leadership of Wigneshwaran. In such a backdrop where we celebrate the Genocide Week, we got to know that President Maithripala Sirisena is coming to the Kacheri in Mullaitivu. We request him not to come. If he comes disregarding our request, we will hoist black flags and oppose his attendance. We request him not to make it an instance where Ranasinghe Premadasa fled the funeral of Amirthalingam in 1987. If he attends the ceremony disregarding the request, he himself will pave the way for us to tell the world that he is a war criminal.
In the meantime, the governor of the northern province, Reginald Kure, expressed his views regarding the security of the people in the northern province while attending a commemoration ceremony at the Palali airport in Jaffna.
On one hand, some say that the president betrays the nation and does not think about the security of the country. But he will never take the steps to drive the country back. He will strengthen the security of the country. It does not mean that the rights of the Tamil community are betrayed. He has already started releasing the lands used by the armed forces. The intention of the president is to make Sri Lanka Army a force which ensures the rights of all the communities. We should ensure that all communities are united and there will not be a civil war in the country once more.
නැවත මෙවන් යුද්ධයක් කිසි දවසක මේ රටේ ඇති නොවෙන්න අපි සපත කරනවා.
And former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga says that there is a need for an amended constitution that will protect the rights of the minority communities. She expressed these views at a media briefing on the recent approval of Sri Lanka's first national policy on reconciliation and coexistence.
The National Reconciliation Policy will serve as the state policy on reconciliation and provide direction to the process of national reconciliation in Sri Lanka.
We must first look at the main objective of implementing transitional justice. It is important that justice is meted out to those who are affected by war. We must inquire as to what happened to them and the status of their loved ones who are reported to have disappeared. The next step is to provide legal support if civilians have been unfairly treated by the army during the civil war. In my opinion, the government must ask themselves what is the most pressing issue here. Is it the issue of bringing international judges to look into war crimes or seeking justice to those who have been affected by the war?
And we take a short commercial break. We'll return with more local news on the other side. Welcome back to the news. Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Indrajit Kumaraswamy, revealed today that the Monetary Board will appoint a panel of inquiry outside the Central Bank to probe the alleged 9.5 billion rupee loss incurred through the investment of the EPF in the government's securities. The governor said this responding to journalists during a media briefing today to announce the Central Bank's monetary policy review for the month today.
The Monetary Board of the Central Bank has decided to maintain the current policy stance. Accordingly, the standing deposit facility rate will remain at 7.25% and the standing lending facility rate will be unchanged at 8.75%. Responding to journalists at the media briefing today, Governor Dr. Indrajit Kumaraswamy assured that an internal inquiry will be carried out pertaining to losses of 9.5 billion rupees incurred by the EPF through investments in the government securities.
On the EPF internal investigation, we have actually initiated action who were associated with the transactions which were identified in the investigation report. Then his report, the Monetary Board, will give to an external inquiry panel. We want to get an ex-judge and possibly somebody with accountancy type of background as well. It will be somebody from outside the bank.
Speaking further, the central bank governor added that it will seek to raise more funds to cover the government's outstanding liabilities. This month, Sri Lanka raised $1.5 billion via an international sovereign bond issue at a coupon rate of 6.2%. The central bank governor added that a new auction system for government securities will be introduced soon in order to facilitate fundraising.
The pure auction system, unless you have proper market development, can lead to have upward pressure on interest rates. At the same time, the earlier direct placement system had significant transparency issues associated with it. We have been looking to see what is a good system, and it has taken us more time than we would have liked. Now there is an auction system. We are very close to finalizing. We hope to introduce it in July. Because we need to raise a lot of money, particularly next year, large amounts. So we need a system which will give us the best possible chance of raising a lot of money. The central bank anticipates making direct purchases from the market of 1.2 billion.
Contrary to speculations in the market, the Deputy Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe, asserts it is not an abuse of monetary policy to borrow treasury bonds through the Employees Provident Fund. He made the remarks in response to questions raised by the Commission of Inquiry probing the controversial treasury bond issuance. Deputy Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe appeared before the Commission of Inquiry today for a fourth consecutive day. Attorney Chanika De Silva, representing the former Governor of the Central Bank Arjuna Mahendran, and President's Counsel Harsha De Silva, representing former Deputy Governor P. Samarasiri, led the cross-examination. Questioning Deputy Governor Nandalal Veerasinghe, President's Counsel Harsha De Silva highlighted that he was attempting to bring out possible failures and probable abuse of the direct placement system during the years from 2013 to 2016. President's Counsel Harsha De Silva inquired whether central bank borrowing from the EPF had resulted in the abuse of monetary policy. In response, Deputy Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe asserted it was not the case since it was procedure to invest in treasury bonds utilizing EPF funds. Dr. Veerasinghe went on to say that the method paved an opportunity for the EPF to raise income. The Commission of Inquiry will reconvene on Monday next week. Still in business news, parliamentarian Udaya Gammampilla alleges the central bank has distorted employment figures of the 2015 published in its 2016 report. He made the allegation today, adding the move was aimed at covering up the true state of the country's economy.
Unfortunately, central bank has made a futile attempt to distort the figures to cover up the reality in respect of the economy. I'll give just one example. In 2015, according to this report, in 2015, employment in Sri Lanka was 7,831,000 and it has increased to 7,948,000 in 2016. The central bank report of the 2015, the employment figure for 2050 was something different. It was 8,554,000. Accordingly, employment in 2016 has declined by 606,000. This government came to power with the promise of generating 1 million or 10 lakh new jobs. But this government, because of its incapacity, has lost 606,000 jobs within a year. In order to hide this decline, they changed the 2015 figure by reducing it by 723,000. Therefore, although there was a decline of 606,000 jobs in the year of 2016, they have misled the nation by showing an increase of 117,000.
And in your stock market update today, Colombo equities swung between gains and losses to close with flat returns as investors booked profits in selected blue chip counters. Market turnover reached 721 million rupees during today's session. Foreign investors were net buyers with an inflow of 30 million rupees. Foreign participation accounted for around 32% of market activity. We now have the daily market update with R.M. Sivanandan from the Colombo Stock Exchange.
The benchmark all-share price index lost 0.63 points to close at 6,666.83, while the S&P Sri Lanka 20 index gained 9.16 points to close at 3,836.5. Top 5 gainers of the day were Kalamasu Systems, Standard Capital, T Smallholder, Lancam Ceylon and Rambada Falls. The top 5 losers were PC Pharma, SMB Leasing Non-Voting, Adam Investments, SMB Leasing and Serendip Hotels. Today there were 8 crossings and the crossing turnover was 288.35 million rupees.
Now we take a look at how the Sri Lankan rupee traded against other major currencies during the next. And we take a short break. We'll return with your sports news on the other side. Welcome back in your sports segment tonight. Kalana Vijayasiri struck a brilliant 100, giving Ananda College a bonus point, which ultimately decided the school's Under-19 Division 1 League Championship.
Chasing 308 put on by Richmond College on day 1, the Anandians found themselves in trouble at 14 for 2 before Karana Vijayasiri and Asil Sigera put on a defiant 100-run partnership. Following Sigera's dismissal, Vijayasiri held his nerve, putting on an unbeaten 86-run partnership with Supun Varagoda carrying his team to 273 for 7. With no first innings result, Anand College were awarded the match, with Vijayasiri's century giving them a bonus point.
In rugby news, Sri Lanka Rugby announced a well-blended squad with a mix of youth and experience for the upcoming Asian Rugby Championship in Malaysia, with Roshan Weeraratne set to captain the side.
Sri Lanka Rugby has selected a squad of 25 players, including 8 debutants, for the championship scheduled between the 14th and the 20th of May. The team will be coached by the recently appointed former Papua New Guinea Sevens coach Ferretti Verabula.
Your thoughts on coaching Sri Lanka? Well, actually, in regards to the standard of the game and the players, actually they are good boys. We've got a bunch of good players. We just need to try and get more games so that our 15 boys will be more exposed at their level. Your thoughts on the upcoming tournament? They managed to reach the final. We're trying to do one better than that. I think all the teams are actually tough. Got some young guys in like Omalka, Nison, with a good mix. It's all depend. Actually, what I was emphasizing is like it's not about individuals. It's about teamwork for us to be able to successful in this tour.
Kandy SC's Roshan Weeraratne takes over the captaincy from Fasil Marija, who will retire from international rugby following the tournament.
Actually, we have a good side. We have blended side because we have young players and lots of senior players.
Fasil Marija, speaking to Derana, clarified that Sri Lanka Rugby would be in good hands with the young players coming through the ranks.
Yeah, I think they will play well and perform well. I have been playing 14 years for Sri Lanka. I think now it's time to retire. So that's why I took the decision this year.
And news from the IPL, the Sunrisers Hyderabad had it easy against table toppers Mumbai Indians last night as they chased down 188 runs.
After being put into bat, the Sunrisers restricted Mumbai to meagre 138, with Rohit Sharma's 45 ball 67 being the solitary consolation. Siddharth Kaul was the pick of the bowlers for Hyderabad with 3 scalps for just 24 runs in his 4 overs. In reply, Shikhar Dhawan and Moises Henriques put on a 91-run partnership, with Shikhar Dhawan remaining unbeaten on 62 as the Sunrisers secured a 7-wicket victory with 10 balls to spare.
And now on to your top international story. A Liberal candidate of the South Korean election, Moon Jae-in, was voted and chosen by the South Koreans as the next president. The snap presidential elections were called following the impeachment and removal of President Park Geun-hye over a corruption scandal.
13 candidates ran for presidency, and among them, Liberal Moon Jae-in has obtained 41.4% of votes in exit polls, with his nearest challenger, Conservative Hong Joon-pyo, on 23.3%. Moon favours greater dialogue with North Korea while maintaining pressure and sanctions, heralding a change to current South Korean policy. He has been critical of the 2 previous conservative administrations for failing to stop North Korea's weapons development.
And India's Supreme Court has held tycoon Vijay Mallya guilty of contempt of court in a case filed by banks to recover borrowed funds. India is seeking his extradition to face a raft of charges relating to financial irregularities at his defunct Kingfisher Airlines.
The court has ordered Mallya to appear before it on the 10th of July. However, he is currently in London. Mallya made his fortune selling beer under the Kingfisher brand before branching out into aviation and sports, being the co-owner of the Formula One team Force India and the owner of IPL cricket franchise Royal Challengers Bangalore. Mallya's total debts, including unpaid wages and operating costs, are estimated to exceed $1 billion. Last month, he was arrested by British police and subsequently released on bail.
And we'll be back with the weather forecast after this break. On to your weather forecast for tomorrow. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in most provinces of the island during afternoon hours. Light showers can be expected in the coastal areas extending from Puttalam to Hambantota via Colombo and Galle. Fairly heavy falls can be expected in some places, particularly in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central, northwestern, north central, Uva and southern provinces. And that's all from the news centre for tonight. Before we go, we'd like to leave you with visuals from Sri Lanka's eastern province, the land of lagoons and marshes. The province boasts the Kumana National Park and the Potuville Lagoon, which makes it a magnet for nature lovers, with the added benefits of magnificent Arugambe, attracting surfers from the world over. Have a pleasant evening. Good night.
Bringing you the news and information 24 hours a day. This is Sri Lanka's premier news channel, Derana 24/7.